I think the environmental community, environmental organizations, have, for a large part, forgotten about where they came from. So in the 1970s, there were rivers on fire, and people rose up and said, we need a solution to this, and policy passed. People couldn't see the sunlight in St. Louis on Black Monday because the air pollution was so bad. It's just like China today. And people rose up and said, we need a solution, and Congress acted. I think what many environmental groups have forgotten is that people were rising up while they were pushing policy. And so now we have a group of people that can push policy but don't have the power of the people behind them. So I think there was an article recently called The Death of Environmentalism. And the big critique of it was that big DC groups had forgotten about their base. We're so focused on policy and had forgotten about power. And we're so focused on not making a chairman of this committee mad instead of the bottom line for science. And the solution was, oh, environmentalists just need to message better. But I think the real solution, I think the rebirth of environmentalism, will be the groups that go back to the base and rebuild it and make it strong. And will take principled stands according to the science and not whether or not they'll burn a bridge with this committee chairman or that committee chairman. Prior to taking on this position, I ran the grassroots program for Greenpeace. So we have 250 staff across the country that talk to people face-to-face on the street, dozens of organizers on the ground working with community groups to persuade them to work with us to pass strong legislation, whether it's to get chemicals out of our cities or whether it's to stop global warming. Some has changed, but still talking to someone face-to-face on the street, the thing that's changed is it's doubled the size of Greenpeace in the last 4 years. But at the same time, obviously, the internet makes everything more efficient. And so we're able to have 250 people running local groups for us with just 2 staff working with them. Or we're able to get thousands of events across the country calling on Trader Joe's to get the endangered seafood off of their shelves. And it just takes a few staff members. So our ability to reach out and work with millions of people across the country is incredibly enhanced because of the internet. You know, Congress generally deletes emails that they get, but what's really helpful is when we can write to people and say, hey, will you take real action in your communities? And so we do use the internet to build local groups and to engage people in going to their local office of their Congress member, or doing rallies, or getting further involved in our different campaigns. You know, Web 2.0 disrupted the people that sent out large amounts of information, phone books, encyclopedias. Web 2. Whatever we're in now will disrupt how people engage together. So now you have Facebook, you have online social networks. So the new institutions that will be disrupted are the bowling alleys, and maybe even the Greenpeaces, the groups that aggregate people for collective action. And so Greenpeace is focused heavily on how we engage people online with Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Dig, other social networks, so that we can really mobilize people, find them where they are, rather than assuming that they'll come to where we are.